Happen all the time. Should be happening.
Hey, Mark,
By my right.
Wait,
no.
We got that fight coming up.
You gotta beat it, bro.
You got that fight coming up. Jump out. That's a nigga that just fought, gorilla.
What happens when one of boxing's top names, Gervonta "Tank" Davis, fresh off a fight controversy, suddenly lands in a hospital bed? Not from a rival in the ring, but because of Jake Paul backstage. Yes, you heard that right. Tank Davis, once considered untouchable, was hit by Jake Paul behind the scenes. Now the entire boxing world is talking about it. The wildest part is that Tank has finally spoken from the hospital about what really happened. Let's break it down.
Oh, Lord. I'm sorry. I'm just in a silly, goofy mood.
Here's how it all began. After a press event already heated by Jake Paul's usual trash talk, things got out of control backstage. According to people close to the scene, Jake got in Tank's face, taunting him about being washed up and chasing YouTuber money instead of real fights. Tank, already fired up, stepped forward because that's who he is. He never lets anyone disrespect him.
Gervonta Davis just posted that he would beat the brakes off of you if you guys fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. Like, I'll be super, super down. I don't know if
Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
is there a height limit in boxing?
But instead of stepping back, Jake threw the first punch. It wasn't meant to be on camera, but leaked footage shows Jake's right hand connecting squarely with Tank. The shocking part, Tank went down. Security rushed in immediately, but by then the damage was already done. Tank was quickly taken to the hospital, where doctors ran tests for possible concussion symptoms. That's when the shocking news broke. Gervonta "Tank" Davis had been hospitalized by Jake Paul before the two ever stepped into the ring. From his hospital bed, Tank finally spoke out. His tone was steady, but the frustration was clear. He said, "This isn't over. Don't think one punch changes anything. I'll take care of this in the ring. That's a promise." He admitted he didn't expect Jake to actually throw a punch backstage, which is surprising because anyone who knows Jake knows he lives for that kind of chaos. Tank added that he's locked in on the upcoming fight, but the fact he has to reassure everyone he's fine after getting clipped by Jake Paul is already putting a dent in his image.
What do you think of Jake?
Clown.
Yeah.
He's a clown.
Would you look at it as a joke if your team was like, yo, we want you to fight Jake Paul? Would you be like, come on, man?
I laugh at him. I feel as though in my career I can't do that right now. Why I say that? Because I ain't put in enough work. Like I'm not a Floyd Mayweather. I ain't no Manny Pacquiao or no Canelo. You know what I mean? I still got actually the work to put in. That's like me in the 8th grade trying to like do something like out this world to somebody that's already did their schoolwork and shit like that. So I think that I actually still gotta have my foot on the gas as far as boxing. Like,
You gotta completely take over and prove
like,
that.
Take this, Like, if I do that right now, they gonna look at me as a joke just as well as they look at Jake Paul.
Let's stop for a moment because this is where it gets serious. What exactly is Tank Davis doing? This is the same fighter once seen as boxing's knockout king, the man Floyd Mayweather groomed to be the next face of the sport. And now he's in a hospital because of a backstage clash with a YouTuber.
Tank is done. Tank is hung him up, shoes off, get the bag, put a plaque up. He done. Tank is done. Period.
When you say done, you mean like not fighting anymore?
Tank is checked out mentally. Tank is gone mentally. Tank looking for the big bag, of Jake Paul, Pacquiao, something sort, and he's looking to, hey, I'll see you later. Tank is standing. He's not gonna fight Shakur Stevenson at all. At all. I don't care how much money Turkey offered, give him 4 Lamborghinis, whatever. Tank ain't taking that fight.
It's tough to admit, but Tank just isn't the same anymore. Back then, he was taking on dangerous opponents, building his legacy, and proving himself every time he entered the ring. Now, it feels like he's only chasing paydays. Of course, every fighter looks for big money fights, but Tank is flat out avoiding the ones that matter. The most glaring name here is Lamont Roach, because let's not forget, Roach handed Tank a humbling loss in their first fight.
Tank did that, so I know the got in his eye, but they should have countered it. They would have countered it, it would have went to Lamont Roach. What I didn't like about Tank, he was gassing up Lamont Roach way too much, and he was already talking about like retiring.
He seemed a little distracted in the fight.
That wasn't the same Gervonta Davis we're really used to seeing.
It just lets you know how corrupt like these governing bodies are, bro. If that dude took a knee, not only did he take a knee, he's like, hold on real quick. Let me get this out of my eye. How is that not a point? Like,
you know, funny thing, bro, that's why I cut my braids off. I had braids, and I had the same thing. I went through the same shit. When I fought Andre, that shit was burning my eyes, so I cut that off.
Tank was expected to dominate, but Roach showed otherwise. He absorbed Tank's hardest shots, stood his ground, and exposed Tank's weaknesses. That fight left Tank with a damaged ego, and fans immediately began calling for a rematch.
How many rematches that you fought?
0.
What do you have to do to create enough separation where this don't happen again?
Whew, it's a good question. It's gonna be based on my training camp. I have to push myself a little harder. If that didn't get me the win, and I have room. I definitely have room. I'm not gonna lie, I have room.
You believe you fought the best Gervonta, or do you think he got some more gears?
100% full fact. I think he might have some more gears, but I fought the best Gervonta that night. I don't want people to get it misconstrued or whatever the case may be. He's a hell of a fighter. Hell of an IQ, great punching power, good speed, and a really good boxing ability. A lot of people underrate that. Don't think because of what I did, y'all think y'all can just go in there and think y'all can have the same night, you know what I'm saying, or do the same thing. He still will go upside your head and crack you, and you know what I'm saying, you might end up on the floor. Everybody not built the same, and that's what people getting messed up. He did a whole lot of things that was good in that fight, a whole lot, and I'm telling you right now, if he wasn't as good of a fighter as he was, that would have been, you know what I'm saying? I would have steamrolled. Don't get that misconstrued. He's still the guy he is. It's just he ran into a guy that's on the same level.
That was the storyline Tank needed, a shot at redemption. The only way to erase that night was to face Roach again, and this time finish him decisively. A knockout win would have shut down the critics, restored his legacy, and put him back in the conversation as one of boxing's greats.
Tank Davis. Bad dude. See, what I like about Tank is Tank brings something different. You know, back in the days, everybody had something. Muhammad Ali was a mover boxer, George was a puncher, Ernest Shaver was a puncher. Everybody had something they brought to the table. Larry Holmes had a jab. Mike Weaver had overhand right. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had something. That division now is full, and Tank having to be the knockout guy of the division. He the one with the main knockout power. Garcia has it too, but Tank got that real knockout power that, like, if Tank hit one of them clean, usually they gonna have a problem. So it's like, I like Tank. Every now and then, I think when he knows he can beat somebody, he probably don't lock in as hard, but I think when they bring challenges, he locks in. Yeah, he fights to the level of competition. He was doing that a lot. And he gotta be careful of that.
2 fights ago, he was really doing that.
You feel me? So you gotta be careful of that, because if you come in and think somebody is not at your level and you underestimate them, it can get you beat. So that's the only thing I think you gotta be careful of. Other than that, Tank is a really good fighter.
But instead, he avoided it completely. No rematch, no redemption, no chance to prove himself against the man who exposed him. Tank chose Jake Paul instead.
After Canelo, obviously, didn't materialize, was the next one Tank?
Yeah, I mean, that was on the 1 yard line as well, but he has to rematch, Lamont Roach. He wants to get that back. And then we'll be back in discussions with Mr. Gervonta. But man, this is the nature of boxing. You have massive fights on the 1 yard line and things just fall through.
As you're watching it, like, he was a gigantic favorite, and this is on the heels of the Canelo thing. Are you like, what the fuck is going on here?
I don't know, though, because I never really thought Tank was that good. It would just take the right fighter to pick him apart, to be honest. Someone who had high activity and wasn't afraid of his power. So I always saw so many holes in his game. So to me, it wasn't that surprising that someone finally gave him some good work.
If you do fight, what weight would it be at?
195.
Oh, wow. So he would go all the way from 40 to 95?
Yeah, I mean, it would be an exhibition.
Okay. But, and so what does that mean? Is that 3-minute rounds?
Yeah, 10 3-minute rounds.
And when you say exhibition, like, what are the restrictions on that?
No restrictions, just the fact that like we couldn't actually get it professionally sanctioned.
Okay. Is that still of interest to you? Like if he wins the rematch and you beat Julio, is that of great interest to you later this year?
For sure.
Exactly. Here's the real kicker. Facing Jake Paul does nothing for Tank's legacy. This isn't the fight fans are asking for, and every pro in the game knows it.
We're going to talk about the boxing world and another fight that Jake Paul just booked for his joke of a career against a 65-plus smaller guy than him in Gervonta Davis. Jake Paul is a circus sideshow for low IQ incels. Nobody should be falling for this carny bullshit about him being a real fighter. Gervonta is a million times better than him, so he has to handicap Gervonta's skill by being a giant lab rat with a 65-plus weight advantage over him. This is a joke. This is a mockery to the sport of fighting. You know, the best are supposed to fight the best. Why is he fighting a guy that's, you know, in his last fight, Mike Tyson, who, you know, he's got a 40-year age gap between them? You know, why are you fighting a guy that should be in line for, you know, the early bird special, not fighting in a boxing ring and Mike Tyson? Now you're fighting a guy who is, you know, tiny. He's a 130-pound fighter. You fight in the 210, 220 weight range. So, you know, this is another joke in Jake Paul's career. You know, he claims to want to be a real fighter, but, you know, he's not taking the real steps to be real fighters and fighting, you know, top 10 guys and fighting the best guys in the world. You know, he fights, you know, these circus sideshows against guys that have no business being in there against him. So, you know, I guess this is the state of boxing. It's dead. UFC took over, and, you know, this is what you get now. You get this YouTuber who, you know, is on Lizzie McGuire, and he wants to claim to be a real fighter, but he doesn't want to fight real fighters. So, you know, I think it's ironic, though. Why would he hire a lawyer to sue people that say that his fights are fixed if they weren't, allegedly? So, I don't know. It's kind of weird. You guys do the math. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
It's kind of weird because Jake Paul is extremely bigger than Tank, and I mean, but with it being a exhibition, it makes sense. It's fine. He got a big name that he's gonna be fighting, but I mean, it really makes no sense because he's gonna be weighing over 200 and some pounds. Tank's gonna probably be weighing maybe at the most 147, 150. So I don't even understand why the fight is happening.
Shakur Stevenson was even more blunt, calling the matchup disrespectful to boxing. He said if Tank truly wanted to prove himself, he should be fighting him, not a YouTuber.
What do you think about the rumors of Tank and Jake fighting?
Man, Tank disrespectful to the sport if he choose that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that. And he called cap on it. So if you gonna call cap and say I'm not who I say I am, come prove it. I think it's dangerous for him to go back in there and fight Lamont. I think Lamont is a hell of a fighter. I can see that going left. So he better be on his A game.
Mike Perry summed it up best, saying Tank just isn't the same fighter anymore, that he doesn't love boxing the way he once did.
Jake is big, Tank has a lot of skill, but I don't think he's the same Tank that we saw the most incredible knockouts. We saw him, I mean, Lamont Roach performed great. They went to draw, and, you know, I just don't know. And Tank walked away. I don't know if he loves it enough to beat a guy who outweighs him by 80 to 100 pounds.
And Nate Diaz couldn't believe it either, calling the fight strange and questioning why anyone would even agree to a matchup with such a big weight difference in the first place.
I gotta ask you, Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. Does Davis have a chance?
Gervonta is a great boxer, but he ain't gonna do Jake Paul.
So you got Jake Paul by knockout, or?
No, I don't got anybody, but I don't think
he's just too small.
It just. I don't want to beat up somebody that small. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
What do you think of the fight?
I don't want to lose to somebody else. There's no point in the fight. It's a great fight, actually. I'm not hating on the fight, but I think My thoughts on it is let's watch and see what happens.
Ryan Garcia said that boxing's turning into WWE.
Yeah,
with that type of matchup. What do you agree? Last thing, White House card, like he said, you want Conor McGregor.
Yeah, but the whole thing's at WWE, so
Right.
it's like, at least that's happening and getting something to talk about, something to watch, and I'm looking forward to that fight actually.
Not everyone was against it, though. Rolando "Raleigh" Romero defended Tank, saying, "You can't really blame a fighter for chasing the paycheck." In his view, Tank deserves a pass for picking money over legacy.
Bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them.
Will it impact Tank's legacy if Jake Paul were like to beat him or even like knock him out?
Dude, Tank's a 3-division world champion, 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him. Bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them. It's the same way Roach feels Tank is the best option for him. Same way that Stevenson thinks Tank's the best option for him, or like all that stuff, right? At the end of it, bro, we just want to do what's best for ourselves, right?
Facts.
Right or wrong?
Facts.
So just do what's best for you.
Teofimo Lopez backed him up, giving credit to both fighters for securing a huge payday, saying boxing is a business and if fans are willing to pay big, why not cash in? But for Tank this means choosing money over legacy, and fans now see he's chasing dollars, not glory, and the real risk is what happens if Tank loses, because going from the most feared lightweight to being knocked out by Jake Paul would be career suicide, especially with the massive weight gap since Tank is a natural lightweight. At 135 while Jake walks around near 200 pounds, so even meeting in the middle, Tank is practically facing a heavyweight, which isn't just a mismatch but dangerous. And while fans may not care and only see Tank Davis versus Jake Paul, if Jake uses that size and lands like he did backstage, it will look like Tank, a pound-for-pound star, got slept by a YouTuber, and once that image hits the internet, there's no recovering from it.
Tank was looking past Roach, and he wanted that Jake Paul fight, which I think Jake Paul would have beaten. Jake is way too big. Tank is 5'5", 135, soaking wet. Y'all think Tank is too small for 140. He ain't beating no heavyweight. I'm not joking. I don't think he would have hurt Jake. He would have to jump up to reach. I don't think he would have hurt him. I tell you this, it would have gone the distance, and people would have been laughing their asses off, and it wouldn't have been good for Tank's brand. I tell you that. That fight would have went the distance. Soon as 5'5" Tank is looking at a 6'2", 6'3" Jake Paul, y'all would be like, hold, wait a second. And Jake Paul be on spread out paws with that arm out and stepping back. And bro, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. But that's cap, fine. We'll never get to fight anyway. So we'll never know.
This is why many are saying Tank should consider hanging up the gloves if this backfires. He built his name as Floyd's protege, the knockout artist who could finish fights with a single punch. But if his career ends with chasing YouTubers, avoiding real challenges, and getting dropped by Jake Paul, that's not a legacy, it's a downfall.
Too far. Jake Paul is taking on Gervonta Tank Davis in an exhibition bout this November. The fight will be taking place in Atlanta between the cruiserweight and the 135-pounder, nearly a 100-pound difference between the two guys. This is absolutely insane. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below.
Let's not overlook the feud between Jake Paul and Gervonta Tank Davis. This rivalry has been brewing for a while. It didn't just come out of nowhere. Tensions really started to rise after Jake's fight with Mike Tyson.
Do you think that it's fair to call them boxers now? We talk about Logan Brothers.
I think it's okay to call Jake Paul a boxer. The only reason why I say that is because he do be in the gym. He's working on stuff. The fight that he fought Mike Tyson, I don't think he should have fought Mike Tyson because of who Mike Tyson is and the age. And he said that he didn't try to knock him out. Yes, you did. You just couldn't get the knockout. And he tried to knock him out for sure.
Tank wasn't having it. To him, Jake was disrespecting a 60-year-old icon just to boost his own image. He saw it as Jake trying to ride the legacy of a legend who shaped the sport. Tank made it clear he wasn't impressed. He was angry. From that moment on, the tension between him and Jake only grew worse.
Oh, Lord. I'm sorry. I'm just in a silly, goofy mood.
That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and tap the bell icon so you never miss our next upload. Don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comments below. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one.